Hi everybody on YouTube. My name is Beth Workman and I'm Maria's mom, Maria Harnish's mom. We're doing this YouTube channel to bring awareness to what my daughter has. It's called water diabetes. Um, it's the same as sugar diabetes, only instead of the pancreas not working correctly, it's the kidneys. They're taking out too much fluid. She's not absorbing the fluid. Um, and this is pretty much part of her journey. Uh, through the medical uh, world. She was born with water diabetes, and 2 years ago, um, we were moving from Michigan to Minnesota, and what had happened was I was blinded. Found out that this eye doesn't have very much pigmentation, so I was blinded by the sun, and I looked down. Well, when I looked down, I swerved into the other lane and hit an oncoming truck. Thankfully, the couple was not hurt, but both vehicles were totaled, and my daughter and I spent 2 months in the hospital. She was in the pediatric ICU. Um, for the first 3 weeks, she was on life support. She was on the breathing, the feeding tube, everything. I'm going to do a PowerPoint later on. But anyway, so she had all the hookups. Then she was also on drugs that were inducing a coma, so they could do all their tests and everything and make sure that everything was all right. She was on what is known as Keppra, which is to prevent seizures. She suffered, it's called global traumatic brain injury, or global TBI. It means that her whole brain was affected, but it was sporadic. It was spread out in parts. So a third of her brain ended up, the cells died. Then a third of the brains were severely damaged, and then there were some that were just not very much, there wasn't very much damage to them. So the brain cells that were severely damaged were able to repair themselves, and the ones that were pretty much perfectly fine had to stretch over and make up for the cells that were killed. When the accident happened, they didn't even know that she was in the truck. It had been the way that the crash had hit. Basically, I hit front on, so from my side it looks like a T-bone. But when I got to the end of the truck, they were pulling a camper trailer, and that had flipped over and landed on my daughter's side, and would have and pretty much crushed her side. What saved her was the fact that we were moving. The passenger um, front seat, nothing was in there, so that got pushed back. And then there was things that were the back was packed so tightly that it made like a triangle um, cocoon around her. So she got the injury more or less from all the shaking and the impact. Uh, we're I'm a huge advocate for seatbelts, and very glad that I pushed that. Um, with me, even though I was seatbelted in, the airbags did not go out, did not go off or anything like that. And I was pinned by my knees under in the front, obviously the front seat because I was driving. But I wound up flying halfway through the windshield. My car door wrapped around everything. The left side of my nose is broken, so it makes breathing every once in a while a little bit more of a hassle. Um, so she spent 2 months in ICU at Hennepin Medical Center in Minneapolis. Uh, they were there. She was obviously in the trauma unit, and so they were able to stabilize her. And they couldn't. They had to put a shunt in at the very end because her brain fluid just wasn't draining correctly. It wasn't being absorbed by her body or anything like that. So I agreed, put the shunt in, and it would redirect or basically recycle the brain fluid to where her body would use it. I'm huge, I'm all for the shunt, as long, if anything can be reused later on in life, or to get to that milestone, do it. Anyway, sorry. uh so I wound up with severe traumatic brain injury, so that's why I'm all over. But Me, it's just the front. With my daughter, her whole brain. She's a year and a half behind mentally, but a lot of times, if you look in her eyes, you can see that she's pretty up to, up to her age and behavior level. Um, so anyway, this channel is for support on Maria. Um, we're looking for donations. We're looking for ideas. We want Maria to be able to interact with other people. We want other people to know about, that there are rare things. When I was looking up online, it's what she has is called diabetes insipidus, and it's basically water diabetes. Her body is not absorbing the water. The kidneys are filtering out too much water. Um, and when I looked online, it said there was only 20,000 known cases. Every time that you hear diabetes, you hear insulin, you hear, carbs, you hear sugars. I got to watch my sugars, I got to watch my carbs. And with this, I have to keep hydrated. I have to make sure I have my electrolytes. I have to watch my sodium. And she gets 2 sodium pills, or it's a sodium pill cut in half, of desmopressin. And so that helps her body retain the water so that it can be absorbed later on. We've been working with, she was put on a feeding tube, and that was because every time that she was given fluids, she would aspirate or choke on it. The fluid would go into her lungs. So she was on a feeding tube, and now she's able to drink on her own. She willingly drinks. She has to have a special cup. She just started, sorry, I'm saying a lot. She's starting to suck through straws. She can feed herself. She eats pizza, hot dogs, cookies, loves ice cream. So what I've been doing is, to stop the feeding tube, like to get her to train more and more, I've been giving her things like applesauce, mixing her medicine in with the applesauce, giving her, since it's hot, ices. She loves popsicles. She loves ice cream. She can eat cereal, so she's getting the fluid from there. Yeah, I don't know. But we are doing a bunch of fundraiser things. GoFundMe. I have some t-shirts through bonfire.com. We need 5 each for the launch to happen. We need 5 minimum sales to get it, out there and out publicly and everything like that. And so I'll put the links in the comments. Subscribe. If you want to learn more about Maria, if you think that this is interesting or anything like that, go ahead, subscribe and keep up with her. If you have any ideas, let me know. Please, I'm asking you, share these links. If anything, I mean, even if you don't have $5 to donate or anything like that, please share my sites and help Maria get the help that she needs. Right now, I just bought a bike for her using the money from GoFundMe. This is a special needs bike, and unfortunately, sadly, the special needs equipment, her stroller's like $400, and that was the cheapest one that I could find, and that was through Amazon. If there's any sites that you have that you know of where they are relatively, cheap but good quality, then message me and I'll put, you can either put it in comments or email me, and I'll have the email. I'll have all the information that is needed in the comments. So I'm going to log off or sign off, or however. This is new. I'm still learning this. So have a good day, and if you any help, I'm at Twitter. I'll put all the information in the comments. Have a nice day. Bye.